for the camera. Take a 60-degree equilateral triangle, divide it in two like this, equally. Where you got right angles here, you got a 30-60 triangle. And if this is one unit, this side then is half of this one, which has to be half a unit. So this side is what? Well, by the Pythagorean theorem, this squared plus this squared equals this, which tells us that this side is square root of 3 over 2, telling us that the square root of 3 over 2 I vector plus the 1/2 j vector give us a vector of magnitude 1. Okay? And an angle of 30 degrees, as far as that goes. Okay? Now from this, just going to take our first quadrant vectors on the unit circle. So this is part of the circle of radius 1, right? This is an arc of the unit circle. If I divide this into 3 equal angles, then this vector is, well, the vector I just pictured. Square root of 3 over 2i plus 1/2 j. What's this vector? Yeah, well, you can do a 30, 60, 90 triangle over here if you like, right? Well, this is going to be your square root of 3 over 2, and this is going to be your 1/2, right? So it's very easy to establish that this is 1/2 I plus square root of 3 over 2j. Okay? And of course we've got the vector I here, the vector j here. Okay? Now, in column notation, I would be 1, 0, right? And j would be 0, 1. And this vector would be square root of 3 over 2, 1/2, which is approximately 0.87, 0.5. 0.5 is exact, 0.87 is a round off. Okay? And this vector here is, don't have room to label it, but you see it's 1/2 square root of 3 over 2, right? Okay? So now we apply our transformation to each vector. I'm going to ask you to do the multiplications. Okay? So, what do we have? We got, it was negative 0.6, 0.8, yeah. Negative 0.8. Now I've got this vector in yellow, so I'm going to write it in yellow. Right? And then the same thing times
You too.
0.5, 0.87. And I'll fill in the matrix on these, but you understand. And then the same thing. Multiplied by 0, 1. Okay? So go ahead. Do those multiplications quickly. But write out the steps. You know, we don't want to take more than a few minutes to do this, but do take the time to write it out. Now, once you get the first matrix written down, do the multiplication. Don't write all 4 of them down and then start multiplying, because if you're a little slower than we have time for, you'll at least have some of them multiplied, and you won't have wasted half the time copying everything down, right? You don't need to copy everything. It'll be on the internet. It'll be in the videos. I'm sure you can do these multiplications in your head, but there are only 2 multiplications you really need help with, which is I think those are right. Okay? I think that 512 should be 522.
Yeah. It's 522.
Yeah, just a minute. Get back to it. We'll see you in a little while. Okay, and when you see me walking around behind you, try not to cover up your work, so I can quickly see how you're doing, although there's time right now. Okay, yeah, cool, yes. Not that fast. No, you're not gonna get 2 columns.
Oh, you just gonna get one?
Well, you could say it's plus, right?
Yeah.
So you're right, but if it's 2 columns, you gotta add them.
Okay, okay.
Yeah, that's good. You got all the numbers there, just get straight. In fact, you gotta add them. You're good. Okay, I'm seeing a lot of Not saying it's all right, but you're doing the right things. Okay? Now, one thing I'm not always seeing, and in some cases, there's some wrong results there, and I'm not seeing where they came from because you just wrote down the result of a bunch of things you punched into a calculator, okay? Now, it's perfectly natural that you would do that, and what in the world is this thing still doing on?